Good evening. A mother has made an emotional appeal to find her son who's been missing for nearly 2 weeks. Philip McCormack, who is 29 and from Lymington, is a vulnerable adult. Philip's mother says she can't understand where he may be. Richard Slee has our report.
Friends and family of Philip McCormack are putting up posters throughout the New Forest. The 29-year-old, who's described as being vulnerable, has been missing for nearly 2 weeks.
Well, he's very quiet.
His mother told me she became alarmed when he didn't come home one night and the family had no idea where he'd gone the day before.
When he wasn't home in the morning, I phoned round his friends and family, and consequently I thought, well, I'll wait till the afternoon so he might still come in. When he wasn't here, I then reported him as a missing person.
Philip was last seen here at his home in Lymington the Thursday before last, and concern is growing for his welfare because last night was the coldest night of the year.
He has had no access to money and he left with only the clothes that were on his back. I have no other indications of anybody that has seen him in that time, and it's out of character for him to disappear in this way.
If he's listening to you now, what should he do?
Well, I would encourage Philip to give us a call on the 101 number, let us know he's okay. And actually, Philip, if you don't want to speak to us, if you're unable to feel confident to speak to the police, at least send a text home just so your mum knows you're okay.
And Philip's mother wanted to make her own direct appeal to her son to get in touch.
Philip, darling, we love and miss you. And please make contact with somebody just to say you're okay, us or the police. I just want to make sure that you're well and safe.
Philip is due to start a new training course on Monday, and so his family hopes he will return in time for that. Richard Slee, ITV News, Lymington.
A driver accused of causing the death of a motorcyclist in Fareham will go on trial in January. Julie Corbyn, who was 55 and from Warsash, died in June last year when her Harley-Davidson bike crashed into a car on the A27 near the Ouston Squire pub. The driver, 62-year-old Elaine Dorey from Gosport, has been charged with causing death by careless driving. A 13-year-old girl has suffered a head injury during an assault in Southampton. Police were called to Green Park in Millbrook yesterday evening to reports of a disturbance involving up to 40 children. A 13-year-old girl from Southampton was arrested on suspicion of causing grievous bodily harm and released on police bail. Staff at a petrol station in Sussex have been threatened with a meat cleaver during a robbery. 2 men walked into Star Fuels on South Coast Road in Peacehaven on Monday night and demanded cash from the till. They stole £200, scratch cards and packets of cigarettes. A major exercise in flood prevention has been taking place at Bulford Barracks in Wiltshire. The soldiers are being trained to help put up temporary flood barriers and evacuate homes in the event of high rainfall this winter. Duncan Slightholme has more.
When floodwaters are rising quickly, you need barriers to go up even faster. 3 army battalions are being trained to put them together and help the Environment Agency protect communities threatened by flooding this winter. This barrier has been put up very quickly. In fact, the Environment Agency thinks that when everybody is fully trained, it will take just 8 people around 20 minutes to put out 100 metres. The barriers are a short-term solution, a metal frame covered in plastic sheets enough to hold water back. The government's spending more than £12 million to make available 4 times as many temporary barriers as last winter. There are new pumps too.
So this is when you've had a period of rainfall, extreme rainfall, and the rivers are bursting out of their banks. A temporary barrier is a very simple mechanism to create a line which the water can't get past. So you're trying to keep the water in the river and out of homes. So it's a series of stands and plates that create a barrier at about 45 degrees.
In 2014, it was a month before the military was brought in to help residents when the Somerset levels flooded. Last winter, troops were called into Cumbria. This year, the government says it is committing 1,200 troops to be on 24-hour standby across the country. You might hope your community never has need for these barriers, but if it does, you might also hope they come quickly. Duncan Slightholme, ITV News.
Dorset Police has confirmed it's the latest force to investigate claims of historical abuse in football. The force says it would not be appropriate to give any further details. An inquiry has been launched by the FA into allegations which date back to the 1980s. Hampshire Police is also investigating a claim. 4 friends injured when the balcony of their holiday rental flat in Brighton collapsed, are threatening legal action against the website they booked it through. The group of guests fell 2 stories on Montpellier Road in July. San Francisco-based Airbnb says it cannot be held liable for the accident or the injuries and has no duty of care. A lawyer for the group is also seeking to contact the owner of the property. 2 teenagers have pleaded guilty to criminal damage after being filmed jumping on the car bonnet, causing significant damage. The 2 boys, who are 14 and 15 and from East Grinstead, appeared at Crawley Youth Court earlier this week. It was filmed outside the Stone Quarry shopping parade in June. An American businessman has come to Dorset to see his aunt's final wish become a reality. Steve Blonstein was left £250,000 in his Aunt Betty's will to put to good use, and now cancer patients are benefiting from her generosity. With more now, Martin Dowse.
Diane Duffy has to travel from Gosport to the Royal Bournemouth Hospital for regular chemotherapy sessions. The treatment can take hours and there's often waiting time. Now she can spend that in this oasis of calm within the busy hospital complex.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, really amazing. Because it's so relaxing, isn't it? And I love the ducks, feed the ducks, and it's just a nice place to be.
The man chatting with Diane today is no ordinary stranger. He made this oasis happen. Steve Blonstein lives in San Francisco but grew up in Wimborne. He had a beloved English aunt, Betty Hyams, who died recently and left him £250,000 to put to a good cause. This is how he chose to fulfil her wishes.
Yeah, it is a good feeling, and it's great to see my aunt's legacy, because I think she would be exactly the kind of person who'd enjoy a garden like this. You know, she spent time in hospital, so she would have really enjoyed this if she'd been here.
You can imagine a call from the USA and somebody asking and saying, we'd like to give you £250,000. Yeah, Steve has followed through on everything he said he would do, so we think that's incredible.
I think she'd be very happy that it was something that was important to us locally in Dorset. Yeah, very proud of what's been done here in her memory. Yep.
Cancer casts a dark cloud over too many lives. But this one woman's generosity and the dedication of her nephew to see her legacy through have made the outlook here at least a little brighter. Martin Dowse, ITV News.
As you may have heard on the national news, Gareth Southgate has been confirmed as England's new manager. Growing up in Crawley, he was captain of the Hazelwick School First 11. This afternoon, he signed a 4-year deal to be England boss. His old PE teacher is delighted.
I think it's brilliant for him. He's been very considered about the whole process. He's almost had a sort of national interview, hasn't he? And I think he's managed absolutely every aspect of it very well. When you look back, that's the sort of boy he was. He was considered in everything he did, but really determined as well.
And Southampton were gunning for Arsenal in the quarter-final of the League Cup at the Emirates Stadium tonight. An early goal from Geordie Classy put the Saints ahead, and a second from Ryan Bertrand sealed the 2-0 victory. Well done to the Saints. Well, let's take a look at the weather tonight now with all the details. Here's Helen Plint.
From sleet to the slopes, driving through Europe. Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
Hello again. A very good evening to you. Well, yet another twinkling, frosty night out there, and it's staying bitterly cold for the time being. Equally, though, tomorrow it will turn a little cloudier, which does mean, well, we lose those beautifully crisp, clear blue skies from overhead. But at least for now, dry, and in fact, high pressure in command does mean it stays fairly settled well into next week. But for now, well, you can see overnight tonight, the chart says it all really. This blue signifying those areas where we'll see the most frost by first thing tomorrow morning. It will yet again be fairly crunchy underfoot and cold to start the day. However, that said, there is more in the way of cloud, especially for those furthest north. And here, temperatures overnight will be that little bit milder. So, in fact, for some of us, sticking up above freezing. So not as cold, certainly, as last night, but potentially not that noticeable by the time we're scraping the ice off first thing tomorrow morning. And as we move forward, well, there will be more in the way of cloud throughout the day tomorrow, generally. Equally, 1 or 2 bright, if not sunny breaks throughout the morning for some of us. So it is a fairly thin veil. All in all, not a bad day at all. And if anything, that cloud will help to keep the temperatures up just a nudge on today. A light breeze as well, so pleasant enough, but wrap up warm.
Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
Good advice, and that's it for now. We're back during Good Morning Britain from 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Do join Amanda for that. But from the late team, thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.